Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the American Revolutionary mod. Last time around we had two battles. We fought the second battle of the Iroquois territory, taking that settlement. So George Washington is here recovering his strength, and then we'll see where we push on. There has been an incursion of British forces. They've taken up this area right here. I believe there was the force that was kind of going up north. So we want to possibly send reinforcements to Washington, but at the same time I want to keep the pressure up. So we're definitely going to send away this army now to actually invade Newfoundland, and then later on up here. So I think we'll start with that, then I'm gonna go over some other things. We're gonna bring both cannons, maybe not actually. George Washington could probably use another cannon, and I'm not gonna need two cannons to invade Newfoundland. So we're gonna send one across the wilderness to get over there. Then we're gonna bring Bennett Fox as the general. He's going to take the 12-pounder. He's going to take the Colonial Skirmishers. He's going to take the Green Mountain Rangers. And given the force that we are coming up against, I think that will be enough, because I want to send some more troops over to Washington, just because of what I'm looking at up in Canada. So we're going to take these. I'm going to put them to... put these guys over on to the fleet, and then with the fleet we will start to land. Now the British have actually put a ship in port, so we'll have to land the HMS Yarmouth, St. Lawrence. I guess the best way is somewhere where we're not immediately attacked once we land. Not that I think they will, but somewhere still that we would just make one turn until we actually march on the capital town. So I guess this cove right here is where we're gonna land, but that's not gonna be this turn, because we've got another battle. So that's set. And then I think we're actually going to send the 4th New York already. We're going to send that with the cannon. So they're going to go join George Washington. As for units, no one's really said anything. So more than someone wanted to see all of them. And given that we've got all of these just in this place, and the thing is, a lot of these are actually local for this region. If we go over to Boston, there's even more units. And it's not the same units. Now, it's kind of... There's some units that are overlapping, like the French naval unit. But a lot of these units up here are actually local, or like that you can only kind of recruit in this area. So, yeah. Oh, yes! I actually forgot. Something that I should have done is actually dispel the British that have launched their navy, put themselves to port in the New York port. They put a 6th-rate frigate and the HMS Monmouth. Wait, wasn't the other one also called that? So I guess this is HMS London, because this is... No, Yarmouth. St. Lawrence. They have two names for some reason. We need to put them out to sea so we can take them down. Kind of large ships. So that's something to think about. One of the things people have been saying is that it's way too easy, and something I've also been saying, that it's way too easy. So they should definitely, they should definitely have done put some limitations on the Americans, because it's a bit too easy for me right off the start. one of the things I think is I make way too much money off the start. Then also, I think what they could have done to balance it is they might have given the Americans, I wouldn't say too much territory. I think the Americans should have more territory just so they can stand to lose it. Like you're fighting a losing battle in the beginning where the British have bigger forces than you and you are scrambling to kind of put together some kind of militia to fight them. And then also I think the British should have been a lot more aggressive. One of the things that I've seen is they... I think I saw, if it was during the trailer or if it was somewhere looking through the options, but I think this relies on quite a few assets from, what's it called, Darth Mod. And it could be possible then that you might be able to lay the Bran Mak Born sub-mod over this. Might not exactly work. But it would be nice to have that kind of aggression and also that sort of AI sentiment where they actually build large stacks. Because right now it seems as though the British are, for some reason, I mean, I'm outstripping the British by so much in terms of actually building troops and things. So it's kind of disappointing in that way. So that's something to think about. I don't think it's going to work, but it would be cool if it actually did work to make them more aggressive. Then I also noticed in the latest episode, episode 5, I've had some problems that I've just talked about before, where there's quite a big fluctuation in the FPS when there's a lot of troops. So right now on the campaign map I'm looking at around 60, so it means that I could render this in 60 and it would actually look like 60. But the problem is, of course, when we go into battle, then then when you zoom in on larger scales, when there are lots of troops, it oftentimes falls down to 30. So it's trying to work that out. Gonna see, probably try to render this one in 30 instead and see if that helps out. But usually what happens is that you kind of get certain parts of the video blurry. Anyways, not much of a battle. This is the remnants of what attacked Philadelphia. That's gone ahead and laid siege to Maryland. Apparently there's 0 turns to surrender. So in actual fact these guys should have surrendered a long time ago. But they haven't, so we're gonna smash them. They might even retreat. No, they did not actually retreat. We far outnumber the British by over 1,000 men. So it should be a pretty straightforward and easy fight, and we might actually see ourselves land on Newfoundland. Anyways, let's go ahead and relieve the siege of Maryland. Right, and there we have our army stretched out in a long line. I thought it would be pretty cool, I thought it looked cinematic. I'd forgot to re-enable the banners and stuff. And for some reason the army was strung out in a column type formation. So I thought it'd just be nice to fly over that like that. Anyways, let's go and actually set them in place again. And got a pretty nice hill. Looks like a pretty decent place to place my artillery. Then we've got the straight up line infantry. I think the enemy, you know what, the enemy probably is gonna, which side are they gonna deploy on? It's a bit of a village. They've got slightly impassable terrain. I would have definitely deployed over on this side, but knowing the AI, they probably deployed over here. So those are the light troops. We might want to have some actual units. The 3rd New York is gonna be there, and then we got the Minutemen. Plug the gap there. Nathaniel Green, was it? And our cavalry. We're gonna deploy all cavalry on the same side of the field, namely the right side, and boom. Oh, for the British didn't actually deploy in the back of the map like they usually do. And quite unusually bold of them. Oh, they're dug in. Look at that. They're dug in. It's gonna be hard to dislodge this battery then. When, I mean, we've already shot a few guys off the crew, I think. Or maybe they've died of starvation. I can't see any bodies. And that's one of the small 6-pounders, and that's got high accuracy. Probably aiming for the New Jersey battalions. Pennsylvania sharpshooters. 3rd New York. Probably not great having you behind the battery. As soon as the battery fires its next batch of shots, we're gonna have you together with these 2 New Jersey battalions marched out, while the other 2 march to go around the British. Right, our battery is about to... What are you doing? Continue to blast the enemy battery. As soon as fired, the 2nd Regiment of Foot New Jersey Battalion will advance. There we go. Now you'll advance. They seem to be hitting the ground here. So they seemingly aiming for the flank of this one. Or they could be aiming for our general. Right, we have a really small unit of Queen's Dragoon Rangers coming straight for the veteran Minutemen, which is gonna go terrible for them. Damn that man! He charged before I gave the order. That... Jesus Christ, what kind of militia is this? The... Jessup Loyalist Corps. For some reason that unit looks a lot bigger than everyone else, but the thing is... Oh, they got 2 of them? Right, I want the New Jersey battalions to hold right there. You're gonna be flank, so you're gonna hold fire, wait for that. Oh, the militia from the town is turning up as well. Nice. Right, Dragoons. To position, the militia from the town. The New Jersey ones. You know what? Halt! They're running straight for us now. Minutemen to the front. Looks like they're attacking kind of our center. Got the riflemen putting down good fire upon the enemy. And then the light infantry of Philadelphia. 3rd New York is holding their position. Put this sort of strong point as my anchor on the left flank to make sure that I wasn't going to be flanked. Looks like I might be flanked still a little bit. So we just want to reorganize by moving slightly back. You can see all the British troops are basically pulling back already. Will be bold because a lot of their dragoons and cavalry and stuff is pulling back. So I'm going to push the Philadelphia Lights up. The 3rd and the Minutemen is going to march up as well. The only thing remains is the King's Royal Regiment. And if I move the rifles up, they should be able to shoot them down. And we need to deal with these guys. They're actually kind of tearing up the 3rd New York still. So I kind of want to get this one out of the way. Yeah, 3rd New York is getting torn up. And why is that? Could it be because this is a militia unit and every single soldier in that unit fires at the same time? And so we're completely outgunned. Right, New Jersey battalions and Minutemen. Minutemen fired well. Given that we have this, when they actually fire back, or are allowed to fire back in any sort of capacity, it seems as though they're doing quite a bit of hurt to us. So yeah, so now we're actually facing quite the harrowing experience. I'm not entirely sure our battery can fire that way. What's needed here is the Dragoons. We'll see if we can dislodge that British general. And then we're gonna see about charging down those big militia battalions of the British, because they're absolutely cutting up my normal line infantry. Oh, there's a British general riding across the battlefield, trying to organize his men, or I guess inspire them to great deeds. Cavalry fight over on this side. That huge general's bodyguard. Right, the Brits are running. We're gonna be able to take their artillery position. Their unit here is moving out into the open. The Pennsylvania or Philadelphia Lights need to move like so. The 3rd will advance. The Minutemen will advance. We're gonna swing down from the hill again, down to originally set positions, and hopefully that will be enough. I'll tell these guys to hold fire and then fire again, so that they go ahead and pick that militia unit. And now that the light infantry is coming in, should be able to focus in a lot on just this militia battalion. The rifles seem to be still firing overhead towards the King's Royals. Not a lot of these guys are actually falling. Well, you can't be serious that you're still firing towards the King's Royals when there's a regiment right in front of you. Right. New Jersey will advance together with the militias. Right, finally the King's Royal Regiment is gone. And we're about to completely surround this militia unit. And now when we're opening fire from all sides, all targeting this unit, they're falling in droves. Most likely will retreat off the field, but still delivering such damaging volleys. It's kind of weird how the militias, due to how the mod is made, that the militias are actually stronger than the regular line infantry. And that's also because for some reason they gave the militias roughly the same accuracy as the regular troops. Right, we need those dragoons to just ride down these guys. So it's kind of it's very unbalanced in that way, which is kind of surprising given that this is like third version or something of this mod, I think. That no one's noticed that that's kind of unbalanced. But as I've previously suspected, that it might be they seem to have put a lot of effort into their own like campaign stuff. So I think maybe that's where you're supposed to play more than the more sandbox type campaign. Right, my dragoons are just riding down all the British troops. And there we have it, victory. Not only did we outnumber the British, but we outfought them. Even though we did lose a lot going up against the British militia. So, yeah. Militia rules the waves, or the day. And this was one of the few battles that I've actually gotten close victory on the end, rather than, you know, heroic and massively stupendous. I don't know. We deployed more than twice the amount of the enemy. We lost 300, almost 400 men. The enemy lost 900. I was actually surprised that we only lost about 400. It seemed like we would have lost a lot more due to those large British militia units. Highest killers goes to Pennsylvania Rifles. I was doubting them in a previous battle they took part in, but here they did actually quite well. They were the number one. Then we had the Philadelphia Light battalions. They also did very well. And 3rd New York, and then Dragoons end up coming down on the 5th and 6th position. But then again, there weren't actually that many kills throughout the battle. We have, I don't know how these guys managed to get a single kill, these two. Philadelphia Light Cavalry got 1 kill. And, oh, that's the general got 1 kill. And then this New Jersey battalion got 1 kill. But now we forced the British out of Maryland, and I can actually continue on and take Virginia. And then we'll wait for the British to come again, rally the troops over here, merge those two armies. But then again, as we look further down south, there is nothing there. Once these forces are done with, I can just steamroll through everything, force them to surrender, and I've taken all of the south. I think we have still some time in this episode, so that I can go ahead and end turn, and we might be able to actually conduct our landing over at Newfoundland. Or if they decide to bring out the navy from here and combine and try to sink us. We'll see. It is, by the way, 1780 at this point. We have an intellectual advance. Recruitment report. Construction. Dark days of New England. A great darkening of the sky has taken place over the region of New England, causing candles to be required for lighting from midday to midnight, all the next day and most of that night. Unsurprisingly, there are fears among the pious that Judgment Day is at hand, prompting this from politician Abraham Davenport. I choose, for one, to meet him face to face. No faithless servant, frightened from my task, but ready when the Lord of the heavens call. And therefore, with all reverence, I would say, let God do his work. We will see to ours. Bring in the candles. In actuality, the phenomenon was probably a combination of forest fires, cloud cover, and thick fog. Damn. Spicy news. So I see that the British have decided to recruit no troops down south. And they did not decide to combine the force. Instead, Lawrence Tully is standing in place, as he did before. And instead, that force have moved north. The remnants of what we defeated has moved north and attacked Baltimore again. For some reason, the British hate Baltimore. But I guess that might be a common thing. Right. Oh, the Native Americans have actually boosted their standing quite a bit. So I think we're actually going to attack the Native Americans with old Georgie boy. Who's going to move there, and then we're going to move 3rd and York and that cannon to take position there. Then we're going to see about attacking the Iroquois. More troops are being recruited all over the place. We're going to see about dislodging this navy later on and sinking it. But for now, we're going over here and we're going to land our troops in this bay.
Any orders?
And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and attack. Imagine how cool it would be if they made something like when you have in Rome, where you have combined land and naval. Imagine how cool that would be for an Empire type game, where you would have, you know, your muskets and cannon on land trained on a fortress, and at the same time you would have your ships passing by outside, delivering broadsides towards it. That would be pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure how they would do landing, because you can't exactly take one of these ships and run it up aground. So I don't know if they would have lots of tiny rowboats coming ashore or something, or maybe I don't know how they would do it. Right, you know what? I think we'll end it here. So for the next one, we'll end turn, see if they go ahead and attack us there. Otherwise, I think it's George Washington going to attack the Iroquois. And then, what was this? Bent Fox taking Newfoundland. Anyways, this seems to be a rather easy revolution for us. Right, and with that, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.